Hello and welcome to this video on cooperatives and franchising. Do you know what these businesses all have in common? You might want to pause the video for a second, have a look at the businesses and see if you can come up with the answer. Well, the answer is that these businesses are all franchises. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at two more forms of business. Firstly, a cooperative, and then secondly, a franchise. We're also going to be looking at the pros and cons of franchising as well. So let's start off with what a cooperative is. A cooperative is where a number of individuals or businesses work together to achieve a common purpose. And this is an important definition that we need to get down in our notes. They're normally formed so individuals and small businesses can benefit from being part of a larger group, meaning they have more power to buy or to bargain. So for example, a group of farmers might come together and sell their products as a cooperative rather than individually on the basis that they might get better deals with the shops that they're dealing with. Objectives of a cooperative, or sometimes known as a co-op, tend to set them apart from other businesses. They're normally more focused on the members of the cooperative and ensuring that they have sustainable livelihoods or that they are surviving, rather than just being obsessed with kind of making as much profit as possible. Profits are required to enable them to reinvest in their business, but they're not likely to be the primary objective of the cooperative. It's more likely to be focused on the members of the cooperative. Are there any potential problems with this system? Well, often if a cooperative is being run as a one member, one vote organisation, then there could be difficulty in terms of making decisions. Because often their main aim is not to make a profit, they might find it more difficult to raise money. And also, idealistic and ethical aims may not be agreeable with all members. So exactly what would be a good quality condition for their workers may be debatable between the different members of the cooperative, and so there might be some disagreement. So generally speaking, they are organisations that are focused on the members rather than just pursuing pure profit. The members group together so they can be better off bargaining en masse, but sometimes it's quite difficult for them to organise themselves. So we looked at what a cooperative is there. We're now going to move on to look at franchising and the pros and cons of franchising. A franchise exists when one business, the franchisor, gives a license, or sometimes called a franchise, to another business called the franchisee, to allow the franchisee to trade using the brand or the business format and idea of the franchisor initially. And again, this is an important definition and one we need to get down in our notes. So for example, if you've heard of Domino's Pizza, they're an example of a franchisor, and the main business is the franchisor, and they provide the little individual takeaways with a license that allows the little individual takeaways to call themselves Domino's and to trade selling Domino's products and using Domino's name. So the franchisor is the person or company that grants the franchisee the right to do business under their trademark or trade name. The franchisee is the person or company that gets the right from the franchisor to do business under the franchisor's trademark or trade name and benefits from it. Again, these are important definitions and ones we should make sure we have down in our notes. So how does it work? The franchisee will pay, let's imagine here the pizza company, Papa John's, something like that. The franchisee pays Papa John's an initial fee, and then they pay an ongoing annual fee to the franchisor, the company that owns the brand, owns the name Papa John's, and came up with the business idea. The franchisee often has to buy supplies from the franchisor. So for example, a branch of McDonald's has in its franchise license the obligation to buy supplies from McDonald's, the main company. The franchisee is paying for a proven business format. If you were going to set up a new business, would you just create a burger restaurant from scratch? Or if I said you could call your burger restaurant McDonald's, then actually we know McDonald's works, we know they've got a strong brand, we know people go there. Actually, this might be a better way for you to start your business as a franchise of McDonald's. As we said, the franchisee can use a well-recognized name and brand, and the franchisor is obliged to support the franchisee in a range of areas such as advertising, training, recruitment, and maybe a range of additional services, perhaps accounting and support services. So it's a two-way relationship, franchisor providing the brand and certain expertise, the franchisee setting up the business, the smaller branch, but allowed to use their trade name and ideas. So let's have a look at it. What's in it from the franchisee? So again, these businesses on the right-hand side, these are all examples of franchises where an individual will apply to become one of the branches of these companies. Well, the advantages are that it's generally considered to be lower risk than setting up an independent business. Would you set up your little individual happy burger shop when you know that instead actually you could be setting up as a McDonald's? McDonald's have an established product menu, they have a strong brand, they have tried and tested systems that you could benefit from rather than having to create all this from yourself. The franchisor will also give you ongoing support, so training, they'll do marketing. Would you be able to afford a national TV campaign yourself if you were setting up a business from scratch? No, but if you become a McDonald's franchisee, then all the marketing they do on TV, online, digital and so on, you will benefit from that. Normally, as a franchisee, you are the exclusive branch in a particular area if you become a franchise, and you know what the setup costs are going to be. Are there any disadvantages? Well, you don't have complete independence or control over what you're doing. You have to follow the franchisor's brand, you have to follow their menu and use their products. Sometimes the cost of buying a franchise can be high, the initial fee or the annual fee. You share some of the profit with the franchisor, so you don't get to keep 100% of the profit, and you have to buy equipment or supplies often from the franchisor. And what about the franchisor, the main company who are allowing other businesses, other entrepreneurs to use their brand and their menu and so on? Well, what are the advantages? Well, one of the reasons businesses do it is because it's very fast to grow. Rather than you identifying lots of individual branches and having to open them up yourself, people will approach you and say, can I open up a branch of a version of your business? As a result, if they're providing the money to set up the business, the branch, then it's going to be lower cost. So you can get fast, low cost growth. You're sharing the risk with the franchisee. They're putting in their money. And so the risk of if the store doesn't perform very well, the branch doesn't perform very well, then your money is not completely at risk. Franchisees, because they're working for themselves and can keep some profit, are likely to be more motivated than branch managers. So maybe you'll get a better performance out of that particular branch. Franchisors can often take a share of the profits, and a franchisor can still open non-franchise branches if they want. So not all McDonald's are franchises, but they can have some branches they own themselves and some that they run as franchises. Are there any disadvantages? Well, you don't get to keep all the profits. The profits are shared. You lose a little bit of control because the franchisor has to monitor what the franchisee is doing. The franchisee has the power in the local branch to decide what to do. And also, if you've got lots of stores opening all the time, is it feasible for the franchisor to manage the growth? Can you be monitoring all these little branches opening up and monitor what the franchisees are doing? So in this video, we've looked at what a cooperative is, we've looked at what franchising involves, and we've looked at the pros and cons of franchising. That's it. Thank you very much.